have to share the link to the group before I forget, because I will forget. How is everyone coming in today? Let me give YouTube a second to send out notifications and get everyone in here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to send this to the Facebook group. If you guys are in any of the Facebook groups, I'm going to share it to the main one. If you guys can share it to the little groups, I would appreciate it. Just so that we can only say stuff once, hopefully. She is still considered missing. The police are still at the home. They're still searching. Good morning, Alina. I've been praying for your family so much right now. Let me share the link real quick before I forget. I changed the name of the group this morning because I do not want to have Isabella listed as her name at all anymore. I'm going to go through and change all of my videos at some point today, hopefully, because, you know, she needs her name to be back the way it was before these monsters did this to her. So they are still at the house searching. Let me show you guys a picture that was just sent to me of the home. Let me share my screen. It's actually a little short video clip. Nothing major. It's just a little 10-second blurb to show you guys that they are still searching. So you can kind of see like the officers moving in between the blue tent and the van there. It's still kind of earlier in the day there, so there's not very many people gathered quite yet, but I know that there are people on their way there. It's just somebody sent me this so that we can know that they are in fact still there, still searching. I've been, I kind of went really strong yesterday, and now today I am, you know, still struggling with all the emotions of everything, I guess, you know, and I don't even know her. Like I said, my heart has gone out to this family since the beginning of this case, and I just feel like an emotional connection to everything. So I really want to, you know, help to keep spreading awareness, keep getting the word out, kind of help the family cut back on how many text messages and phone calls they're getting, because I'm sure they're overwhelmed with stuff. So if I can come out and share information so that you guys don't have to call and text them even, it is helpful. So I'm going to show you the news article that the news station did today. Let me see. Make sure the sound is on. Okay. So I'm going to show you the news article that the news station did today. No, sound's not working. Hold on. Hey, it would help if I turned on the desktop audio. Okay, there. Now let's try this again.
Else. As a reminder, this is still an active investigation.
Yeah, the adopted parents of 6-year-old Isabella Ariel Kalua have been charged with second-degree murder 2 months after Ariel was reported missing. Lehua and Isaac Kalua are being held without bail. And at a news conference, police painted a picture of two people who were lying from the very beginning about what happened to the girl. Investigators now believe she died sometime around mid-August. They're still looking for her remains. And police are now focusing their investigation on the Kalua's home in Waimanalo. That's where our Casey Lund is this morning. Casey?
Yeah, good morning, Steve, from Puha Street, and we want to bring an expert on in just a moment. But first, I want to show you the scene here that's still very much active. You can see HPD investigators as well as FBI evidence collection specialists here at that property on Puha Street. And as last check, the last thing we heard from HPD is they are still actively searching for that young girl's remains. We do know that in the last 2 years, there were 2 instances of injuries reported by the Kalua family. The first, a finger that was apparently slammed in a door. There was a delay in the reporting of that injury and the seeking of treatment. There was also an injury 4 months later in early 2020 where the family said that girl injured her leg jumping on a trampoline. Now, we do want to bring in Steve Lane. He was appointed, court-appointed special master in the Peter Boy case, other high-profile abuse cases. Steve, I want to ask you this morning the question that is on so many people's minds, especially the family, this community. Do you believe that this tragedy could have been prevented?
Yes, this child should never have been placed with the Kalua family. Mr. Kalua is a convicted felon involving crimes of violence, assault, and terroristic threatening. This kid should never have been placed in that family. Additionally,
in your experience, you know what? In your experience, Steve, had mentioned that there was a delay in the reporting of those injuries that H&N uncovered in their investigation. Is there any excuse for that on the family's part? And what do you believe happened there?
No, there's no excuse for that. Furthermore, I understand that both injuries later became the subject of a multidisciplinary team investigation. That is not routine. That only occurs when there's a suspicion of wrongdoing. I'd like to know who the guardian ad litem is in this case, appointed by the family court to look out for the best interests of this child. What did the guardian ad litem say once those injuries came to light and once the state decided it was serious enough to subject it to a multidisciplinary team investigation? These are all red flags. They should have probably pulled the child when that happened, but the child should never have been placed there.
And I want to ask you also about Isabella, Ariel's other siblings. We know that they were taken into CWS custody after this investigation began, after she was reported missing. Can you walk us through that timeline and what you see moving forward for those innocent children and the legal struggle that's going to ensue after all of this?
Yeah, the children, I understand, were appropriately removed by CPS after the child was declared missing. They should have been placed in temporary foster care after that removal. There'll then be another confidential hearing in family court. Sadly, all these hearings are cloaked in secrecy, so there's no public disclosure of what occurs, in which the custody of these children will later be determined by a family court judge. One of my concerns is that there are apparently competent, available volunteer members of the biological family who are willing to take these children and who are willing to take the children before they were placed with the Kalua family. That's another question, is why didn't the state look first, as they're required to the biological family relatives for the placement of these children? Hopefully that the children now in foster care with CPS will be given an opportunity to return to the biological family relatives.
Steve Lane with us this morning. I appreciate you sharing some perspective and your expertise on this case as well. And of course, throughout the morning, we're going to be hearing from members of the biological family, as well as those that came here to mourn that little girl, to remember her and pray for some kind of closure in this case as the investigation very much continues this morning. Steve?
All right, thanks, Casey. 7:08 right now. Former Kauai County councilman has...
So that was the news article. Sorry about my kids. Obviously, they just woke up from their naps. Tim, do you think that they are going to arrest the family member that was living there due to him not doing anything to stop this? So I'm not sure. We were watching, I watched Doug yesterday I believe his last name is Karasik. And he had made mention that in Hawaii, if you have knowledge that a crime was committed and you do not come forward, that you can be held as liable for the crime as if you committed it yourself. Give me 1 second. I gotta go see what my daughter needs. So anyways, I'll be very interested to see if these family members that were obviously in the neighborhood, that obviously were in and out of the home, you know, Ryan was there up until the last week before she was reported missing, according to his somebody who is friends with his girlfriend. So with that being said, that means that it leads me to think that Ryan could possibly, you know, be... What, baby? Hold on. That leads me to think that Ryan could possibly have guilty knowledge. You know, Tasha has posted over and over again that she had seen her on the 14th of August. And then I clipped something from the news article yesterday where he talks about the fact that there are still people with knowledge that have not been cooperating. And so it makes you wonder, you know, who are these individuals that are still not cooperating? 1 second. So this is... Let me pull this up. Shh, baby. It's okay. Hold on 1 second.
How was this mid-August time frame determined?
Without going into too many details, the pattern of activity that we're able to detect by talking to witnesses and examining other evidence led us to believe that that's the time frame. There are a lot of indicators. Sorry, I know I didn't really answer your question. I talked in a big circle. You must love that. But I can't really give you the exact, here's how we did it, and here's exactly what led us to there, because that's still something that's very important to keep confidential at this point. Hopefully one day we'll be able to tell you the whole story about how we determined it. But we'll put it this way, we can't find any cooperating witnesses who are going to tell us that they've seen her after then, that we could substantiate that, right?
Has there been new evidence?
So the important part of what he said there is they can't find any cooperating witnesses. Yeah, everything's fine, Tammy. She just woke up from her nap a little bit fussy. As soon as I start talking on this computer, they all seem to wake up, which kind of, it sucks. Because then it makes the lives a little bit chaotic. We're probably going to be moving my computer to a different location just so that doesn't keep happening. But so they say that there's still people who are not cooperating, basically. And it makes you kind of look at all of these family members that we know were in and out of this home at different cookouts and everything else through this time period. What type of excuses were they given about where she was? You know, you would think that would raise red flags completely. Some of the things that we have been told happened since yesterday. There was a mattress supposedly taken out of the home. So, you know, they are collecting a ton of evidence. I've heard multiple boxes, a mattress. Obviously, they're still there. They're still digging in the yard. There is a clip of video that I took from different people's live feeds from yesterday. I'm going to play it for you. I did mute a lot of the audio because I feel like, you know, if these people who know this family feel comfortable putting the audio out there, that's one thing. However, I don't feel comfortable exposing their private moments, you know, onto an online platform. So let me play that for you guys. Sorry. Just to answer that question, that was not Ryan who was with her while she was interviewed. That was actually her uncle, adoptive uncle, Nedrick. This video footage, what you're seeing is, this is the scene yesterday. That's the reporter standing there watching. And what they were trying to video was the back of the truck where they were digging. They were supposedly running water out of the hose to soften the ground there and digging up different spots near the back of the white truck. And then they were just trying to show, you know, all the different scenes. They set up those tents strategically and backed the van completely up so that you can't see what items are coming in and out. There was like a 1 foot gap though that people were able to see the mattress be taken out and then other boxes get loaded. So they were really close to the scene, you know, trying to get information for what was going on. Obviously, the family stood looking on for everything going on to watch as it was unfolding.
I don't know if they're in the backyard or in the house. This lady right here by this police officer is the biological mom for Ariel. I hope you guys can hear me. I just seen a white owl. Hey lady.
The sound in because I wanted you guys to hear her pointing out the biological mom. A lot of people have asked questions as to where the biological parents are at in all of this. I want to stress the fact that I have been the one keeping them out of the spotlight. They have not shined away from the publicity or going to the events. They have been there every step of the way. We did not want their history and the things in their past to take away from the attention that this little girl deserves. You know, I know how the true crime community is, and we wanted to protect them as much as possible. But Melanie and Adam have been there every step of the way for their little girl. You know, they had a drug history. They didn't not love their children. They didn't hurt their children. They did nothing wrong to these babies. This final video is just a short clip from the vigil last night. Other footage and pictures. This is just again from the vigil last night. Somebody was kind enough to buy a lei and a candle and put it on the fence from us, you know, from Sleuth Mom and from our group, which is great, you know, because we couldn't be there, and I really wanted to be there last night. You know, I'm praying that this all resolves today and that this doesn't turn into, you know, a search for remains, because we see that a lot in different cases. And I'm praying and hoping that this is it today, that they find her and that they bring her home so that they're able to lay her to rest. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at the chat real quick because I haven't been looking. It's crazy how the views drop, right? We're down to 25 people, which is what we were averaging before yesterday. So many people want to jump on cases for the hype at the last minute. And, you know, I'm not about that. I'm going to follow this all the way through, even if I end up with only 2 or 3 viewers while we're watching. You know, I want to watch this family change lives, and I know they're going to in her name. I want to push for her name to get changed back, for the adoption to get overturned. She deserves her familial name, not this name that these murderers gave her. This family has a long battle against CPS coming for the other sisters and for justice to be served. You know, what happened with these caseworkers is just appalling. They had no rights to put these children in this home. You even heard the Stephen Lane comment, you know, and he's been a long time lawyer on these types of cases. And I hope he pairs up with this family to get justice for what happened. You know, we are going to change lives and change laws. You're right, Beverly. They are going to be fighting for this. We want it to see Ariel's law someday. Specifically in Hawaii, but it would be great if we could get it nationwide for checkups on kids after adoption, for more strict background checks across the board. It should not vary state by state. And a lot of the states that we see these cases where foster care and adoption, where the children end up getting hurt, a lot of those cases happen in states where the restrictions are so lenient. And so we need to make sure that this is changed worldwide. This shouldn't be happening. I would love to make sure that Ariel is not forgotten and that her legacy lives on, so that she can change the lives of millions of children. Millions. Addiction is a disease. It needs decriminalized and more support offered to those who suffer from it. On Hawaii Island, there is drug court that helps with this. Good success is shown. I didn't pop up in your phone, Tammy. I did post it in the group this time. I forgot to do it last time. It's because I'm under 1,000 subs. even if you're subscribed to me with all notifications on, it won't notify you sometimes because I am so low in the algorithm. And that's why I keep pushing, like, to spread her story. You know, we need to spread it by liking the videos, subscribing, getting the information out there. Unfortunately, I have seen really big channels that I have been begging, literally emailing, messaging, calling, posting in their groups. I have been begging them to cover her case, to help us get awareness out there. And I have seen them coming out of the woodworks to make videos since yesterday morning. And it's appalling to me that they waited until the big news that everyone was going to want to come watch to make a case for her, to make a video for her. You know, we needed you 2 months ago. We needed you a month ago, 6 weeks ago, to help spread awareness. And I appreciate that you're spreading her name now, because yes, we do still need this to go nationwide, because we need the laws to change. We need eyes on this so that this CPS corruption doesn't get swept under the rug. But like, at the same time, like, I was just appalled that they waited until the views were going to come to make their videos. I was so angry. And so I was supposed to be on about an hour ago, and I just couldn't because I was just getting so frustrated watching people making videos today. I'm not in this for views. I'm not a monetized channel. I don't want your money. I want to help this baby, and I want to help this family. And you know, it's so frustrating to watch people who might not be in this for the right thing. Now they're going to share your face. Now they're going to share your story so that they can profit off of it. And it's so frustrating. Sorry. But I wanted to come on and let you guys know, because I know a lot of people have been asking if they have found her yet. And the answer is no. There is family and different people heading to the scene so that we can keep an eye all day today. And as long as the police are present, I'm not going to stay alive all day because I do have my children. And I'm obviously getting emotional already. I stayed pretty firm yesterday, but it's just kind of all hitting now, you know? Any ideas where Ariel is? Kerwin, I believe that they are digging in the yard. I would think that they have good reasons to be doing that. Likely the evidence that came forward this last week is when they said that this turned completely into a murder investigation, which leads me to believe within this last week is when someone finally spoke up. I am going to assume it was likely her older sister. She probably felt comfortable and safe enough to talk finally, which breaks my heart too, because she probably knows exactly what happened, which would explain why she was so afraid. Stop terminating parental rights without a trial by jury. I agree with that. They need to stop being allowed to just take children out of loving homes for whatever reason they feel like. You know, we watched a video of someone from this family saying that they punched their kids in the face. And then she was bragging last night on her Instagram that her kids are still with her even after the investigation. And so, and then she had the nerve to say, "You think I want my kids to go in the system after what happened with Ariel?" Like, really? Because that's your family. That's your Ohana that did this to her. That's your Ohana that you've been out here saying was innocent and going to bat for them that did this. It's just all so frustrating. I love you guys, Taryn. I really do. There have been so many of these cases. There really is. Yes, we have been pushing this GoFundMe. I hope the other creators that are now pushing this video for their own subs are pushing this GoFundMe. Let me get the link for the GoFundMe actually, because it needs posted. Let me pull it up. Sorry, it's going to take me 1 second. And I'm not talking about the creators that came out, this last week. Not everybody was, on the case from the beginning. I understand that, but there are some good creators who came out in the last week or two trying to help spread awareness. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who started making videos as soon as the breaking news came out. That's what I'm talking about. The ones who didn't attempt to help spread her face at all, but now that there's breaking news, they're jumping on the bandwagon. Let me share the link for the GoFundMe. Right here. Let me show you guys where we're at. I know that they're going to be doing an updated message on the GoFundMe at some point today. They've obviously been overwhelmed with everything. And in the midst of everything else that's going on today, okay, yeah, it is sharing my screen. In the midst of everything else that is going on today, they are still on the phone with the lawyers, doing different things behind the scenes because, at this point, we need to make sure that the other children are actually safe. And I know the HPD said yesterday during the interview that, don't worry, the other children are in custody of CPS, so they are safe. Like that. That's crazy to me because guess what? Ariel Sellers was once in custody of CPS. Was she safe? Let police do abuse investigations. Only stop phony, treasonous CPS quack investigations. Yeah, how much of this was money motivated? They pulled her out of her grandma Barb's home just on the simple fact that her husband was in an accident. Like, what type of reason is that for them to remove her from that home? It makes no sense to me. Oh, well, he was in an accident and you're tired from having to take care of all of them, so we have to remove them from your home. Like, that's absurd to me. And then they put her with all these felons, and these drug users and people with tempers and violent tendencies. And they're saying she was last seen in bed and then likes to sleep in the yard. And we're hearing that they pulled a mattress out of the house and are digging in the yard. What did they do to her? I can't. It's so overwhelming. The frustration that I feel. I can't imagine what this family feels. I can't even fathom it. We're at $3,117. Thank you to the people who donated yesterday. We still have a long way to go. They need this retainer for this lawyer. Yeah, the HPD statement was appalling. How dare you say that they're safe with CPS after CPS just failed her and she died as a result of their failure. And God only knows what was happening to the other 3 girls in that house. It was only a few days ago that we heard the SA allegations coming from the older sister. And I have a feeling that she probably laid everything out at the same time. I think she deserves that reward money if she's the one who spoke up. Yeah, and then for them to put out the see something, say something statement. I do agree with that because a lot of these crimes could be solved a lot sooner if people would speak up whenever you see stuff. Stop worrying about loyalty. Stop worrying about being a snitch. None of that matters. What matters is the lives of these children who go missing at the hands of their parents. I think it's like 95% of missing cases are because of parents. It's an ungodly high number. You know, if people would actually speak up whenever they see abuse happening, whenever they see something fishy going on. How many people around Sunny and Lehua over this last 2 months has come out in defense of them? But know that, you know, for the last couple weeks, maybe Ariel didn't go to church. Or for the last couple weeks, you know, they kind of seemed a little bit off whenever they were talking outside the mailbox or different things like that. You know, you guys need to speak up, because he said they still need evidence from 2019 all the way up to 2021. You were giving them the benefit of the doubt before, and you didn't know if they were guilty or not. Well, now you know. Now you know they did this. So please, search your memory banks for any details that you might have, because they still need information. So, Tim, the adoption hearing date was moved prior to them being arrested. The adoption hearing date was moved, let's see, today is Thursday, so the adoption hearing date was moved to Tuesday afternoon. They got notice. I was told yesterday. So they had no idea that they were going to be arrested whenever they filed the motion to move the court date. But here's the problem. This family needs this lawyer to file an emergency injunction so that they can try to get custody of these kids immediately. As of right now, we don't know if they are in therapy. We don't know if they are getting the medical checks that I feel like they personally need. I think they all need checked for abuse of all kinds. And so we need to make sure that they are getting the care that they need. Grandma Julie is going to make sure that happens. You know, we cannot trust these CPS workers who are in charge of this case to do the right thing. We can't trust them to act in the best interest of these children. How could we? They haven't acted in her best interest at all so far. They haven't acted in the best interest of these children, not even once. They took them out of their parents' home. They took them out of their grandparents' home. They didn't offer them to any of the other biological family. They didn't even let the other biological family know that they were in CPS custody, and they put them in the hands of felons. They ignored injuries that were reported over and over again, even video evidence of her limping across the road. They ignored bruising. They ignored the mother pleading with them to take them out of the Kalua's home because she felt like they were being abused. They ignored the fact that Ariel's hair was cut against policy procedures. They ignored it all. Every step of it. They ignored the fact that she obviously lost a significant amount of weight over the time that she was in their care, that she always looked sickly and tired and had bruises. They ignored every single piece of evidence against her. They ignored the preschool teacher calling in reports of abuse. They ignored the fact that whenever those reports of abuse were called in, they pulled her from school. Don't tell me CPS has their best interest in mind. Give these children to the biological family so they can get properly taken care of. These CPS workers should be charged. I agree. You know, we've seen in Gabriel's case, whenever it happened, that those CPS workers were all held accountable. I think that these ones do as well. Especially since they felt the need to comment on social media on top of all the other pain that they caused, trying to make us want to look into the background of the biological parents. Guess what? I know their background. I don't care that they smoked meth. I don't care. They didn't hurt their children. They didn't do this. They didn't put her in a home where she was going to be hurt. They didn't ignore the fact that she was being hurt. They didn't strip themselves of their parental rights whenever abuse claims were being submitted so that they could be silenced so you didn't have to do your freaking paperwork. They didn't do this. You did. You put her in this home, and now she is no longer with us. Yes, I hope a civil lawyer takes notice and contacts the family as well, Tim. You know, people keep asking me why isn't a lawyer representing them pro bono? Why do they have to raise funds? I can't answer that, but they have contacted so many lawyers. So many. And they still need funds. This is the cheapest one that has experience in this area that can help them. This is it. This is what we have right now. And they need your help. I don't understand why they ignored what was happening to Ariel. I slapped my 12-year-old's head one time in her life for running away, and she was removed from me for almost 12 years. Oh my God. Sheila, that's crazy. See, so you hit your child one time and they were removed for 2 years. She had broken bones that they never took her to the hospital for. They delayed treatment, and CPS found no problem with that and put her right back in the home. How? Oh, that's right, because you're friends. That's right. They felt like, oh, that's my friend, I can just take a lunch, expecting she was okay. Yeah, not doing your job. That's exactly it. We need answers. You know, this child, she's never had an easy moment in her life. The last 4 years of her life has been a complete hell. I just can't. And you know, the younger two, the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old especially, may not remember much of what happened inside of that home. And I pray that that's the case, that those younger two, they can forget all of this, maybe have memories of their sister, see pictures of her, be raised up to still love her and miss her. You know, but everything else from this last couple years that they have lived in that home, I hope that they are able to erase and forget. But this older sister, she's going to have nightmares about the things that she's gone through. She's going to have a lot of issues and a lot of things that she's going to have to overcome in her life. And my heart goes out to her because I know the type of abuse that she has witnessed. You know, I was raised in a home that was not a very easy home. And I know the things that you suffer with mentally because of that. And so she's going to need a lot of help and a lot of love and a lot of guidance. And it needs to start now. It needs to start now. She needs help now. The police should step in and return those kids to their family. Yes. And not only do they need return to their family, but she needs her name back. I don't want her death certificate to say Isabella Kalua. I don't want her Facebook group to say Isabella Kalua. I don't want the videos about her to say Isabella Kalua. She needs her name back. Tristan, don't. My son said they're abominations. They will re-traffic those survivors and get more federal bonus money. Do we have documented proof of this social worker friend? I hope so. We can get her arrested and thrown in jail. I hope so too, Tim. I know the family has a lot of things. They share a lot of stuff with me. A lot of stuff I can't share. I do have a lot of knowledge about the things that have gone on in this case. Not everything is for the internet, though. Not every detail is for the internet. Not every detail is for YouTube. And I will never be the type of YouTuber that exploits your personal lives and the things that go on in the background or behind the scenes for views. It will never happen here. That's not my priority. I really wish the older sister can testify. She was the one who got to see everything on the first hand. Obviously, it's traumatic, but we believe in her, not any government. There is a big chance that if she's seen something, she will testify. You know, okay, say they find her today. And they investigate. They wrap up the investigation. These monsters probably have a year, if not two, before this ever sees court. And they actually see real prison before they are ever actually prosecuted. That's just the way that the legal system works. This is a long ride. A very long ride. I believe this is the tip of the iceberg, and hopefully CWS will be exposed. I agree, Lily Rose. I think this goes very deep. Very deep. But I'm not going to stay on, guys. I am going to close this down. Like I said, I do have my children with me. I just wanted to come on and update you guys about what we know so far. And what we know right now is they are still at the house. They are still searching. They are still bringing out evidence. This family still needs help. They still need funds raised, and they still need to get custody of this children. As of right now, they do not have a lawyer representing them pro bono. They are still paying. If you guys know somebody who has strong legal power that can help in this case, please contact them and forward them to the family. They need your help. Tim, I would love to think that they did this on purpose to make them wait an extra day. You know, and I hope that they accidentally slammed them into the cell walls a couple times. I hope they had to sit there for an extra day because of that. My heart is so heavy for Ariel and family, hearing all the injustices done, red flags ignored. Yeah, I'm sure they videotaped everything that happened. Tammy, I will email you the GoFundMe link, okay? That way, or send it to you in Messenger. That way you can post it, okay? Taryn, Alina, if you guys are still in here, can you please tell the chat how they can help you guys next? Someone is asking what can we do next? They are moving the rally, as far as I know, as of right now, the one that was planned for the 16th outside of the courthouse, it is being moved to outside of the CPS the CPS building again, where they have been rallying, just so you guys know. Share, catch me if you can. If you're able to donate to the GoFundMe, then donate to the GoFundMe. If not, then that's fine. I understand not everyone has the financial ability to do that. Please share their story, though. We need this case nationwide. We need it out there so that this can go nationwide, so that this doesn't get ignored. Do petitions work? So petitions show that the community is together, and oftentimes it helps to give it to a judge or a senator to show that there is enough backing with them. So that's how petitions work. You typically give them to a senator or a judge or somebody who will then fight for your cause, because you're showing that the community is organized together. There is somebody with a meeting with the senator from our group. She has a meeting set up with the senator specifically about Ariel's case. So we are hoping that goes well. That's sometime this next week. All right, guys, that's all I have, though. I'm going to go ahead and close in prayer. I will likely be back later this evening as more updates come. Hopefully, I'm praying that they find her. So thank you, dear Lord, for bringing us all together again today. Dear Lord, please bring us updates. Please bring us please bring us Ariel. Honestly, just bring us Ariel. We want to lay her to rest, dear Lord. Please be with this family. Continue to comfort them, Lord, and help them find a way to make this all happen. Thank you, Lord, for all that you do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.